welcome to channel. It's been a long time. Today we will talk about object-oriented paradigm in Flutter application. Actually, it's independent from Flutter or Dart language. You can use it any object-oriented programming language. In here we will talk about the business logic. We are not focused to UI part. In this example, we have an easy application. It shows the some post from the JSON placeholder. It's all lorem ipsum, and we will today talk about the from HTTP service, API service. We will use object-oriented paradigm in here, and we will see what's the benefits of using object-oriented paradigm with the real-life examples. Now let's look at the code. It's easy code. There is no UI things. It takes in init state method. It gets from the API service. Then if it is not null, we are showing it in a list view builder. Otherwise we are showing loading indicator. In so many examples you can see something like that. In so many tutorials there was an API service and they are calling it from the UI part. It's a big mistake. They are calling directly from the UI part and they are sending request, and if it is not null they are showing in here. But for example, now let's look to API service and let's discuss about. In here we have just only one method and it's very easy. It's just get API request, and if it status code is 200, if it is successful, we are taking data and we are converting it and we are returning. But in the real life, actually you don't have one method in your API service class. Maybe you have more than 20, 30. It depends on your application. And also we don't have just API service. We have database services, we have authentications, we have storage, we have picking file from phone or users. We need to check internet connection, something blah blah. Our app is getting larger and larger. For example, in this example I use dio package. Let things this scenario. Maybe more than 2 years later, developers of dio package say we won't update this package anymore, and also Flutter is getting updated. Then after that part, your version and dio package version will conflict and you can't use anymore. Maybe, or in another scenario, maybe your boss or your customer said to you, we must add something new feature, but you are getting a error from dio package and you don't know how you can fix it. So what you will do, you will change your package. In so many tutorials I saw people's really addicted to some packages. They must use this package, otherwise they don't know how they can fix this situation or how can they develop another feature. So what we'll do, another big things, I forget this part. If your usage getting bigger, you must use this package. If this package, something happened to this package, or your app can crash in so many places, and also you must use this package, because now let's think in the other functions. You are sending files, you are post, you are getting delete, you are put, you are get so many times. So in API service, maybe you can return this response in somewhere, because you must, because you don't know your data can be dynamic. And what you will do, you will just return this response and you will check it in UI side. It's a big mistake. And also If you don't use Dio package anymore, you must update your API service class, and also you must update your UI site. And this will be cost for your application. Your update time will be getting bigger, your your app's maintenance is getting bigger, understandable, will get harder. Today we will change it. In so many examples, they are calling it like that: API service and request and show the data. Because in YouTube tutorials, it must be short because no one will watch uh, 10-hour, 20-hour tutorials. Of course, they are watching their so valuable tutorials, but in real life, if you develop an real life application, it is it takes maybe more than 200 hours. It depends on your hobbies. And also there is another actually mistake. We are calling our service class directly in UI part. It's a mistake because you must use MVVM or MVC package, MVC pattern. Sorry. We are in home page, and you must have home page view model. For example, in here you will have homepage view model, and you will call it from in here also same like as this. You will have something blah blah, you will call it from your homepage view model. You will call in here homepage view model dot get post, so your UI will independent from your service class business logic site. But in the simple example, we don't have view models, but in maybe in another tutorial we can talk about view model, MVVM, MVC, or other patterns. Now we decide to change our package Dio to HTTP. How we will do this? In general, if I were you, I will copy these all functions from here, and I will create another class like this, or this time I will say API service name of this, or you will delete all of this thing from here and you will import HTTP to here, and it's getting worse. You must check every function, and also you if your one of your function use another function in here, you must collaborate them. It is getting bigger and bigger. Today we will make it with object-oriented paradigm. How we will do it? Actually, in here, in this two, what's please close. In here, you can see we are returning the same value, list of post. What's post model? It's easy. It's just user ID, title, and body. It's the simple, easy, simple. In here they are returning the same thing. As you can see, they are returning the post, list of post. So we can make abstraction in here, so we can call it directly. We can say, if you are one of this class, you must extend our abstract class and you must return. Actually it is independent from my HTTP provider. You must return list of posts, whatever I'm using. So we create an HTTP controller class, abstract class. You can name it HTTP base class, API base class. It depends on you. And we gave it in here. Then we will say to our HTTP provider, you are an HTTP controller class also. I write it wrong. Then we will say override this function, because we must override it in here. As you can see, we must override this function. Then we write it. Okay, everything is good. This is a step 1. What is the step 2? so we can call it http provider dot get post, but it is not enough. It is the same as API service dot get post, like in here. So what we do, uh, we need to create one more class. It's a service class actually, not this one. We will create our provider and the end of we are using. Before that, we need to call our request from the service class. It is independent from what we are using package. It must be independent from package, then our UI, actually our view model, then our UI. But in here we are calling it from UI, as I said before. So what we need to create an HTTP service class in here. What I did here, in here I set HTTP service, but what I must do, how I need to get post. HTTP service dot get post, I can say without override. I can say here HTTP service dot get post, but I also define it in abstract class. So I must give URN HTTP controller. So it will declare to me you must override this function, and I override it. So I gave here a single instance in here because we don't want to our API service can create instance, because in another instance maybe we send get request, in other instance can pull request, or it can be you can think it's local database. One of the instance can write, other one try to read. It will be a conflict. It's not a good thing. So we made it singleton and we return it. So what we do in here, if we want to instance of this service class, we cannot call it directly, because in the constructor we are saying you must give a HTTP controller provider, because we will call it from directly from here. So how we will use it? We will use it from the dependency injection. I use gedit, but you can use any other dependency injection provider, of course. So what I did, I said I will register a singleton. What's that? HTTP service, and I gave you a provider, HTTP provider. So how I will call it from my UI part, I will say, let's duplicate it. In here I will say service locator dot get what was that? It was HTTP service, and of course it's HTTP service, not API service. Now let's name it HTTP service. As you see, it's completely independent from the package, but you must call it, as I said before, your view model, not call it directly from your UI part. In here, when I run it, it's also run perfectly. Now what we do, we will change this name to Dio provider, same as other one, Dio provider. So you can now see how it's easy changing your real requirement controller. In here, now we are using, as you see in here, we are using HTTP provider, but I want to change it. I can give Dio provider, and it also work really well. I will use HTTP provider. Now it's also works really well, and also it's independent from what you are using. It's not your UI don't know what you are using. It's not can't reach, and also my service class don't know what it's using, what's the inside. but we don't actually. Our job needs to get list of post model, so we are taking it from here. You need to just change this. That's all. I hope you understand the basics of object oriented paradigm. You are using it here. Thanks for watching. If you have any question or any comments, you can comment it now. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.